The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building, buying, selling a home, the real estate crew's got news for you. The Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouserand,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome, thanks for joining us on the Real Estate House Party, and I'm with two happy guys.
Yes, and my name is Kathy.
That's Kat.
I'm a big girl.
So we got big girl Lenny Clarke here.
Yeah. And just regular old me. Regular old me.
Who is
Tony
so happy.
V.
I've never seen you this happy.
We, people don't know this, but the studio is above Two Guys Smoke Shop.
Yeah.
It's part of Two Guys Smoke Shop. And we have the ability to act like civilized human beings and actually smoke a cigar indoors while sitting down. And we don't do it because...
Right. We just don't do it.
You guys have said we don't do it usually. And this week... we decided
we'll make an exception here at Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, where we're just going to have some cigars.
You understand that smoking a cigar indoors, sitting down, is the last civilized thing that we have on the planet.
Right. And you can't do it unless you go to New Hampshire.
Yeah, right.
Two Guys welcomes you. They put out a red carpet for you and give you an ashtray.
You know, David's sending this virally to everyone he knows.
He
that we got Tony V and Lenny Clarke promoting cigar smoking as the last civilized task in this world.
Name another civilized thing.
Pie eating.
Not as civilized, because you get some on you.
It's all over. You're covered in it.
You're covered in it. You know what I mean?
Really?
I still do it, but it's not civilized.
So for
you ever seen what I do to a pie? There's nothing civilized about that. Nothing.
You want to get to it before Tony does.
Yeah. I saw a recipe for a pie, an apple pie, that you make with cinnamon rolls. You get puff pastry and then roll it out, sprinkle it with cinnamon, and then crush that as the crust.
You're making this up.
No, I am
You're
not.
making this up.
No.
Really?
Is that the food porn channel?
Oh, it's the food porn channel. Yes.
We had one pile behind Prince one day where we had, it was a chocolate pecan or...
chocolate pecan.
That was...
Not a pecan.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Pecan is what you go to the bathroom in. A pecan is a nut. Right.
That's right.
Now, you're at the stage in life, if you had to choose between a naked girl and a pie...
Tough decision. Hardest decision I'd have to make. It would depend on the kind of pie and the girl.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
There'd be a minute of me going, what kind of pie is that, naked lady?
All right, so Joey Yannetti came up to me at Lenny Clarke's. You had a very nice for Lenny Clarke, emceed by Tony V.
We had a nice tribute.
Very nice. It was wonderful. All the people showed up. It was great.
It was a great time. We're going to get a couple stories in, but Joey Yannetti comes up to me and he says, 35 years as a performer, and you're doing the podcast with Tony V and Lenny Clarke? So I hope he's watching today.
Everyone's watching.
Everyone's watching.
Two Guys in Salem, New Hampshire.
Sure, the Studio 21.
You don't have a cigar? We'll give you one.
Yeah. Come on up.
With the Real Estate House Party. All right. We won't talk. We can't tell too many stories about that night. The night for Lenny, right?
No.
But we can talk about. Well, what do you want to talk about today? I had some ideas.
Just one story, and then we're going to get into my idea. One story where you met up with Wayne Gretzky. This is probably one story we can tell on today's podcast.
Right.
The rest, I think we're going to have to let go until you said a few people pass away. And
Yeah, okay.
But you went up to Wayne Gretzky, and what'd you say to him?
Well, I was at a comedy festival in Toronto, and I was walking down the hallway of the Toronto Argonauts game, and I think Doug Flutie was playing for them at the time, and I bump into John Candy, and John Candy says, Lenny Clarke, I always wanted to meet you, and I went, oh my God, John Candy, one of my heroes. He said, I'm one of the commissioners of Canadian football. You want to meet Gretzky? I go, do I ever? He goes, don't screw around. I said, I won't. So we went in, and there's Bruce McDonald just before he went away to jail, and Wayne Gretzky.
He was going away party.
Right, and he said, Wayne, this is a buddy of mine from the States, a fabulous comedian and actor, Lenny Clarke. And I said, Wayne Gretzky, what an honor, what a pleasure it is to meet the second greatest hockey player ever lived. And John whacks me, he goes, I told you. I said, no, he understands. He says, you're from Boston, right? I said, see, he knows.
Did I ever tell you what I did to Bobby Orr at it was an event that you set me up with, Lenny set me up with. He couldn't do it one year. It was an auction for Children's Hospital.
Oh.
Big soiree. It was at the hotel on the water.
Right.
And Bobby Orr was the honorary chair of this event. And it was a huge event, black tie, blah, blah, and I'm going to do the auction later. And, I'm talking to people beforehand, and I say to them very nicely, by the way, I just ask one thing and one thing only. Don't put me on after the sick kid video. And they get appalled. They go, what? I go, I know there's a video because we're trying to raise money, and you're going to have sick kid.
That is a tough act to
after
follow.
sick kid, and I understand what you're doing, but just something in between me and the sick kid video. And they go, yeah, don't worry about it. So they show the video, and it's as moving as can be.
Right.
The entire place is weeping, including me.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And the music has not even faded. Right?
And they're introducing you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the comedy of Tony V. I walk up, I'm weeping. Right?
Yeah.
And I just look out at the crowd and I go, hey, anybody want to strangle a puppy before I get started? I don't think I'm in a big enough hole. So I see Bobby Orr's the honorary chair, and he's hurting himself. And I go, Bobby Orr's here is a nice guy. Everyone thinks he's a swell fella, and he's doing a nice thing. I go, I got to tell you, I saw him kicking a kid in the ass right out in the hallway. And he hurts himself. He falls off the chair. And he looked right at me. He said, yeah, tell him I did this. They won't believe you. And people were appalled.
Oh, yeah.
But we made a lot of money. A lot of money.
Bobby Orr is the
That's
best.
what we do. Here's the
They don't come better than him.
All right, one Bill Belichick story.
Go ahead.
We'll move on.
That's two stories.
That's two stories.
Those
Do we have
stories.
too many stories?
Yeah, no Bill stories before the Super
Not
Bowl.
Okay.
Don't want to jinx
All right,
it.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Afterwards. So let's get to the real estate.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so
That's
this is what I'd like to do today.
All right.
We were at a hunk of real estate last week, Lenny and I.
Oh, down Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Oh,
was it?
Ocean House.
mother of God.
It's-
Fabulous.
Was it unbelievable?
Yes, I think our room was staged.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
I know it was fumigated after we left.
But it was nice, huh?
Oh, my God. I said to the people, I go, I usually say I've been thrown out of better places than this, but when I get thrown out of here, it'll be the best
that'll be
place.
best.
It'll be the best place I've ever been thrown out
Yeah,
of. We had a nice show with the people at the Boston Garden. It was great.
And we might be getting some Bruce Springsteen tickets out of this.
Yes,
Is that what we're thinking?
that's
All
what we're
right.
thinking.
All right.
I hope it.
All right.
Sure. So go ahead.
This is what I think, because I've actually never had such a learned real estate panel as I have today. Lenny
We know
Clarke,
everything.
Tony V,
We know
Rick
everything.
Carter. You guys know everything.
Right.
Some people want to sell their houses on their own.
Bad idea.
What do you think about that? I think they should use
Foolish.
brokers.
Listen, the brokers are there for a reason.
Yeah.
The sellers have a broker and the buyers have a broker.
Sure. Why don't you do open heart surgery on yourself while you're at it?
Yeah.
What do we need those people for?
Listen,
Why don't you take out your own spleen?
Oh, listen, I think I can fix my camshaft.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. How hard can it be to rebuild an engine?
So I have some suggestions or actually questions for you guys.
Okay.
Because this is what I think.
We know things.
You know things, and I think there's some major advantages to working with a real estate broker.
Right.
So here's one. Some people can't price their house correctly.
Right.
They grew up in the house. They have more of an attachment to the
They
house.
have an emotional attachment.
They think the house is probably worth
Right.
a little bit more
Right.
than it really is.
Right,
So I think
right.
we need the brokers to come in and give us some comps on that.
Right? I can speak to that right off the bat.
Yep.
When we were selling my mother-in-law's house in Charlestown,
Yeah.
we had people come in to clean it out.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
two guys from 1-800
Yeah.
junk me or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're just chucking stuff. And my wife is standing there watching her childhood, go out the door.
Yeah.
And the kid stopped and he goes, "Lady, I know to you this is your childhood memories, but to us it's
a
just
bunch of-
shit."
1-800 just shit.
All right, so there's one way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one way of looking at it. Right.
So you want to have it priced accordingly. And,
Right.
and
So how would you go about? I mean, I wouldn't know how to go about pricing
Right.
my
So
house.
I think that's where we might need some brokers. They come in, they get the comps in the area. They think what has sold in the area that's a comparable house to them, and I think that's probably one of the first things. So then what they do is, all right, say they get it priced right, and then because we know if you price it too high, it's a kiss of death.
And is that the only way they arrive at a price is comps?
Nope. Well, mostly the comps, but they also know the neighborhood because you can get a 3,000 square foot house in Reading that might not be comped out because it might be a different part of town, or there might be more upgrades.
You can have a house that looks great on the outside, but shit on the inside.
Exactly.
You need a new electrical, new plumbing, new everything.
I don't know. It has something to do with railroad tracks too.
Right.
Because
and power lines.
And power lines. It's always on the wrong side of the track.
Right.
And I never knew what side.
So if we had a broker, they might be able to tell you. They might be able to give you some assistance on that.
And brokers are usually licensed, correct?
Yes, they're licensed.
So you've got a licensed broker. Right away, they know what they're doing because they got a license.
Right.
They don't give a license to anybody.
No.
Sure, they probably had to have a permit first.
Right.
And they could probably only sell houses with another adult
during the day.
Not after midnight or something like that. They have rules.
Yeah.
All right, so we get it priced right. Right. All right. Now we got to get the house ready to sell.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we got to stage that.
You got to stage.
So I think the brokers are good about that. They
know
what to do.
They know what people buying a house are looking for.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So I'm told there's two types of staging: emotional staging and actual physical staging.
Right.
So emotional staging is where you want that person to go into the house and almost feel like they live there. Yes. Yeah. So they'll throw if you wanted a family orientated look, you'll have the glassware out front.
Right. Or you might have a kid in a bedroom throwing a tantrum, or an ex-girlfriend sitting in the corner weeping,
or bloodstains on the kitchen floor.
Yeah. Pay no attention to those.
Yeah. Those can come and go, whichever you like.
All right. So we'll get back to the staging, but good point, both of you. Do you have to disclose that? So brokers might be able to disclose certain things, whereas seller, they might be disclosing the wrong things.
Right.
So if you have bloodstains on the on the
say someone was murdered in the house,
and someone asked you, was someone ever murdered there?
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Was someone allegedly ever murdered in your house? As a seller,
do you have to disclose it?
If someone asked you,
I believe you would, wouldn't you? You're illegal,
exactly.
Well, now what if you're on the verge of Alzheimer's and you can't remember?
No, right.
Are you covered then?
Right.
Are you going to use that as that's going to be your ace in the hole, right?
If it means the sale, yes.
Or if you had plausible deniability,
right.
So to me.
Or if there was no body.
It was never proven.
No body.
All right, this is where I'm starting to lose you guys there. If someone asked you guys as sellers, I'm not sure if you guys would make perfect sellers. Well, this is probably my point today.
But this gets me to my first legitimate point.
Yeah.
Now, knowing this information, thank you, Rick Carter of Carter Law, right? That should be the first question you ask.
Was anyone murdered here?
No matter, regardless of what you're buying.
Right.
I don't give it's a car. Right. Is anyone murdered in there?
Murdered or suicide might be.
If they have a heart, right away.
Right. If there's a hesitation.
You answered by a hemming and hawing.
Right.
You already know.
Your silence says.
Sounds like you've been in court before.
Well, the next question would be, are there ghosts?
Right.
Is there any leftover repercussions from the dead, murdered, or suicide?
Can I tell you that you guys are good?
Can I just say this about ghosts, too?
Yeah.
I live on Bunker Hill.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not probably, but the scene of one of the bloodiest battles of the entire Revolutionary War.
There's a propensity to have ghosts in the area.
You would think I'd be tripping over ghosts at midnight walking my dog. Hey, General Warren, you want to hold the dog while I light my cigar?
Yeah.
I've seen no evidence so far, unless they sneak.
Actually, there's a tavern, and I won't mention the name because I don't want to say if it's not true.
Right.
There's a tavern right near your house.
The Warren Tavern.
Oh, okay.
Right.
See, he wouldn't be good on disclosures. He'd just be blabbing right. This is why you need a broker, right? To tell you when you should be disclosing.
Don't say things.
No, you can say it if you're asked it. But that's actually a good point. In Massachusetts, at the time of this podcast, unless asked, you're not required to tell them there's a murder or suicide in your house.
So people learn today. First question.
Was there a murder here?
Was there murder? You got to ask the questions, right?
Right.
All right, let's go back to staging. So emotional staging is where you come into a house and there's place settings at the dinner table. You make it trying to look like family oriented.
Right.
Now, do you run into a trouble when you've staged it so well that the people want to buy it as is?
That's a good point. That relates, and we're going to get to the photography. Sometimes people have such good photography. Mm-hmm. People come to the house and
thinking
say,
that's it.
That's it. And they say, this isn't what I saw in the photography.
No.
So you might want to have a broker that can kind of reel that in.
This is again why you need a broker.
This is why you need a broker.
They'll tell you, the ins and outs of what's good and what's not.
You know what? We'll talk about bad.
Like, it might be nice to have a crusty loaf of bread out.
There you go.
But probably not like, leftover salad on a plate.
No, that's very good.
Right.
So that's actually one of my lists. You put in, have
the day old chicken.
Right.
Not good.
It's a no, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, with
Uncooked.
flies. Not good.
Right. So emotional staging, we got that down pretty good. Physical staging.
Yes.
How do we physically stage the house? I think what we want to do in a staging of a house, we want to depersonalize the house.
Right.
We want to make sure we didn't live there.
So it's just more of a sterile.
Yes, exactly. You want to make it look like
spot. You can do what you want with this house. So you might have a table, but nothing on it.
Correct. Or a fancy little, bowl of fake fruit that.
Fake fruit's good. Never rots.
Right.
Yeah. A little rough on the teeth, but never rots.
We did a closing for a very famous basketball player. We were involved in. I didn't represent him, but
not going to say his name either.
Let me say his initials.
Go ahead.
KG.
Okay.
All right. So I'll let you guys figure out who it was. But
black fella.
Yes.
Didn't like to sign things for people.
You're right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's why he had to get it.
Came there from Minnesota.
That's why he had to move.
All right, you guys fill in the clues. You can figure out who it is. But the broker was telling me at closing, she had a little bit of trouble because you go into his house and all you see is his trophies, you really couldn't see it as your own house.
Yeah.
So I think that's a problem. So I think with you two as experts in the staging area, you could give some nice suggestions for people on how to, make sure your closets are half full.
Right. Because you don't want to be in a situation where someone walks in, and go, oh, you don't want to look in there. You know what I mean? Hey, what's behind this door? No, I wouldn't open that door.
No.
See, this is why I worry about you two selling your houses on your own.
Yeah. That's why no one should.
Don't look in there.
Don't look in there. It's probably not what you want to say. Or you probably don't want to have like one wooden chair in the middle of a room with a bare light bulb hanging over it, just slightly
with
swinging.
Some chalk lines around the chair.
Right.
Yeah, not going to be good.
No.
All right, so this is what you got to do. You got to remove distinctive art.
Distinctive art,
right?
Yes.
Like stuff from the kids on the
exactly
fridge.
Right. Exactly. Get rid of the Elvis posters because they might not like Elvis.
Sure.
Or the dogs playing cards.
with Elvis on.
With Elvis on there.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of away items of religion, politics, and ideology.
So
religion, politics. Yeah, you don't want a giant vote for Ike in here. I like Ike hanging on your door.
Get rid of the dog toys because you don't.
Get rid of the dog.
Yeah, get rid of the dog.
Maybe that's where the murder came in. The dog wouldn't leave.
Or
you think the dog's behind it?
Maybe.
Or if an elderly woman with cats passes away and there's nothing to feed, the cats eat her.
Yeah.
Which has happened in many cases.
That happens routinely.
Yeah. Big cat.
All right. Sometimes we want to see if the neighbors can help on the staging because no longer is the house first seen like at an open house. And we're going to talk about open houses in a second.
Wait a second. Neighbors get involved?
You got to get neighbors involved. Yes, because the first time you're going to see this house is probably on the internet.
Right.
You're going to probably see driving by. You want to talk to the neighbors and see if they can put away the dumpy car.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Could you move that half-built boat maybe to the back?
Right.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep, exactly. So we want to get staging done. All right, so we got it staged.
Wow, I never would have thought of that. That's actual good information.
That's great information.
So we're 20 minutes in the show, and now you're commending me for good information.
That's the way we operate.
Yeah.
You're gonna find
if like you can
gold.
find one nugget.
It's like panning for gold.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You sift through the nonsense. France, and
Exactly.
there's a German there. You
Exactly.
might have to watch or listen to this show several times.
To pick up the things you missed the first time around.
Oh, my son Ryan Carter, who's
Yeah.
trying to promote us a little bit,
Yeah.
says we got to be telling people about the show. So they
We
got
are telling them.
They got to subscribe.
Yeah.
We got to tell them to subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, because we are on iHeartRadio, I believe, iTunes,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Got to subscribe.
Sure.
Okay.
Got to like us.
Yeah. We just don't get into your head without you wanting to find us.
Right,
No.
right,
Right.
right. So they got to
And
like
they-
us.
Right. And what's the name of the network we're on here?
We are
That would be
on.
the United Podcast
The
Network.
United Podcast Network.
Network.
UPN.
Right.
And where do we tape this from? Studio 21 Podcast, I
At
believe.
the Two Guys Smoke Shop in Salem, New Hampshire.
You guys are in heaven
It's
right
an
now.
easy-
Free or die and have a cigar while you're thinking about it.
Easy on, easy off, right off of 93, exit 1 coming
We
north.
dare you not to find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
You know what? The place would be great if you could
Wait, we just plugged them and not us.
I know.
Right.
The
We
place
do
would-
appreciate that.
The place would be a lot better though if you could get coffee there, though, right?
I'm having
What?
I'm having a nitro. It looks like a Guinness. I'm having,
I know,
but I'm
I know,
not,
but that's a
because
nitro,
this will
huh?
this is nitro,
Wow.
and it's fantastic.
This is the best.
Wow.
All right. So we talked about staging.
Right.
Talked about photography. And this is all the stuff I think. Am I reading you guys wrong? I think you think we need to get brokers involved.
You
If I'm-
have to.
if I'm
Am I
gonna
reading you guys
buy
right?
Or
No.
sell a house, I'm getting a broker involved.
So there's Lenny Clarke's endorsement. Tony V.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
You're cutting your nose off
Yes,
despite your face. Go, oh, look, I sold it on my own.
Right.
Great
What
job.
are you saving?
Right.
What's your agita worth? You just took 5 years off of your life because you don't know what you're
Right,
doing.
right,
And now
right,
you got
right.
you got strangers tramping through your house,
And you lied to
and
them.
you lied to them that there was no murder.
And sometimes you get questions at the open house.
You don't know.
You don't know. Here's
Right.
here's a question that got sellers in trouble before.
Right.
Can I operate my family business out of the house? Some
Wow.
sellers say, yeah, go ahead.
What's the business?
That's what you should be asking.
You know, if it's
Right.
a whorehouse,
That's
I'm
different.
sure you got to have permits.
Some sort of
Then you have-
licensing.
Then you have someone that has to, check with the whores and make sure they're up to code. Well, I don't know if there are whorehouses in Massachusetts. Probably New Hampshire. I mean, if you can smoke a cigar in a building, you'll probably have a whorehouse. I'm just
So this is
guessing.
where we're headed.
I'm not heading there.
How to get licensing for prostitution in Massachusetts
Or
and New
any
Hampshire.
legal
Is that what
business.
we're
We're
thinking? This is
asking
where we're
if
heading?
We're asking.
We got to ask that question to the
because
seller.
Believe me, back in the 80s, Lenny and I had people who ran businesses out of their house, mostly in the middle of the night.
Right.
Right.
And the parking
And
was
it
abominable.
was abominable. So you got to know about parking.
Was this at the
issues.
barracks?
I'm not saying anything.
Is this at the barracks?
I'm
No,
just saying.
we're just
We
saying.
might have to talk about the barracks for the next show.
Okay, I'll come back for that.
You come back next
I'll
week?
come
All right.
back.
Well, we're going to talk about the barracks. I think people might be interested. And statute of limitations, have they expired?
I think they've
Oh,
expired.
yeah.
Are they good?
Back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s, for sure.
All right. So maybe the next show, if we can somehow get you two back
We'll
for the
try.
next. All right.
We'll try.
How about if I get you guys a cigar and a nitro?
Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
All right.
I want a cigar about this length and this much coffee for the next show.
Here's another question that gets sellers in trouble.
Go ahead.
Why are you selling your house? And then they start saying, "Well, I don't like the neighborhood. I don't like the basement."
Oh, Jesus, no.
You want to get that seller away from the buyer as
Of
much
course.
as possible.
Right.
The immediate answer is, what's it to you?
You want to buy
You want
this
to buy it?
or
If
not?
not, hit the bricks.
Yeah. You
Not
want
paying
to-
lip service to people kicking tires. Let's go.
Do you
Come
think you think the seller should show up at the open house?
No.
Oh, there you go.
No.
We
No,
should probably
let
have a
it
broker
go.
to orchestrate the
course,
open
Get
they
house.
broker, go on
Yes.
vacation, let them
Sure.
have it, come back, sign
What-
the papers, boom, bang, boom,
Move out.
move out.
That's it.
Let the professionals take care of
Of
it.
course. Even if you have to duct tape them and throw them in a trunk. Wouldn't be the first time.
No.
Imagine sellers hanging around the house while
No.
you're walking around saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, I like this, I don't like this."
My daughter did this. This is where she learned to play the bugle. And this way, who cares? You're not going to live here anymore. Hit the bricks.
So feedback is probably important
A lot of feedback.
from the brokers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's another reason.
And you got to be open to the feedback.
Very
Right.
good. Very
Right?
good.
Because
you
people-
guys, you know what? I knew why you guys are going to be the 18 today. You have all the answers.
Well,
You know, we're not
No,
just pretty faces.
I know.
no.
I thought you guys are just a couple comedians that come on, we
No,
tell
no,
jokes,
no.
tell some stories.
No.
We're actually getting some information out
You're
of us.
going to spend money on people to give you the information. Take the information that you're paying for.
Wow.
What do you know that the broker hasn't already forgotten? They can make it easy on you, or they can make it hard on you.
Right.
And there's no one going to make it harder on you than yourself, because you're going to screw up. You're going to trip up with one question, and the house is.
It's all going to
It's
come
all-
tumble,
Yeah.
and you got a house of cards.
No, you hit it right in the head with negotiations too. Say they're selling a $500,000 house.
Yeah.
And they know you're selling it on your own.
Right.
What most buyers come in and say, listen, I know you're selling a $500,000.
You're
You're saving the commission.
You're saving a commission.
So I'll give you $475.
No.
So who
No.
saves the money there? The buyer does.
The buyer does, not you.
Not the seller.
You get it. And where if you had a broker, they might get you a little bit more because it's a buyer's market right now.
And they're
Seller's
not,
market.
seller's
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
And
You'll
they're
get that
not-
auction effect going.
they're not emotionally attached to anything but the cash.
No. And always keep this in mind, and I don't think we hit this enough.
Go ahead.
Your house next to your divorce is the most expensive piece of business you will ever do.
You're right.
So you should get the most out of it.
Right.
And that's
concur.
why we have
That's
You
legal.
both concur?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't talked about this, but you probably should get a real estate attorney involved, right? Right off the bat.
Listen,
Before
Do we
you
know
call
any of them?
anybody,
Yeah.
I'd call Rick Carter from
Thank
Carter
you.
Law.
if I'm going to get a real estate attorney, it starts with Rick and it ends with Carter.
That's all.
They've
Get
been doing
Carter,
it
right?
for years.
That's
get
right.
Carter.
Get
Get him
Carter.
down here. He'll deal with the brokers, the sellers, the buyers. You go on vacation, come back, and have Carter
It's all
sign the
done.
paper. It's
I
all
like
done.
that.
Don't even have to show up.
So this is what we're going to do. Something we're getting off course right now.
Really?
Right, I'm shocked by this.
That's odd.
But someday, and I've talked about this for about 8 or 9 years, ever since and this is how long, Kevin Knox was going to be involved. We're going to do I guess a skit on what a closing looks like.
Oh.
So I'm looking for some volunteers for a real estate attorney, a broker, a buyer, either one of you.
I'll play the woman.
Well, you've done a nice job being Kathy today.
Yes,
You've got
I
a nice
have.
start.
Thank you.
It's a good
And your
start.
hair looks perfect
And I
today.
miss
Thank you.
Kathy. I miss Kathy.
Where is she?
She's in Italy.
See, when she comes back, her house is going to be sold.
That's right.
She's
You
going
don't
to be
even know.
upset, but it's going to be
But
gone.
When she sees
think
what you got for it, woo.
Because we got a broker involved.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do you think I pay her? I must pay her pretty good.
I guess she's
2
going
weeks
to
off?
Italy.
Don't
Yeah.
know. I
2
know.
weeks off.
And this is not the only 2 weeks he's had off.
No.
If memory serves. She seems to get 2 weeks off
That's
every
2 weeks
2
this
weeks.
month.
I'm glad she's on vacation. I thought it may have been something I said.
No. When have
I
you
love
ever offended anyone?
Oh.
Oh. Maybe for the next show if you come back.
All right.
All right. So
That's
we
it?
figured out. No. That's not it. We got to kind of wrap up.
We got to wrap it
a little
up.
bit.
All right, let's wrap it up.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, for the first show.
All right. You sure you can come back?
I'll definitely come back.
All right, Tony.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's come on back and we'll talk a little bit about why you need a broker. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
And maybe a few other little odds
Sure.
and ends. If I can miraculously get you guys back.
Sure.
come
As
back.
long as
All
it's
right.
on the real estate house party.
All right.
As long as that 2 guys.
Two Guys Smoke Shop. Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate House Party. Tony V, Lenny Clarke, Rick Carter. I have never had a better real estate panel than we've had today. Thank you, and we're going to see you next week.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.